There's an old saying, and I can't remember it verbatim, but it's something to the effect of, it's better to keep your mouth shut and have people think that you're stupid than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. Now, Mike Wilbon is not stupid. You don't have a legendary career in sports journalism, sports media that spans several decades by being an unintelligent dumbass. But over the last several years, Mike Wilbon has become increasingly bitter, which is often a side effect of those who are infected with the woke fungus. And that bitterness, it was revealed again Monday afternoon during the closing segment of PTI. You know, ESPN has done a decent job of attempting to eradicate the woke fungus, or I should say, they've done a decent job attempting to contain the fungus, silence it. 4 or 5 years ago, it seemed like we were talking about the insanity at ESPN every week, sometimes multiple times a week. Whether it was false claims of mythical racism every time a black man wasn't given a coaching job in the NFL, or blaming mythical misogyny for the decades of huge embarrassing failure in the WNBA dump, L. Duncan interrupting Sports Center to complain about abortion rights. For several years, ESPN was a disaster. There is a reason I refer to ESPN as the worldwide leader in woke. But over the last 12, maybe 18 months, management at ESPN has done a pretty good job of silencing the woke fungus. But every once in a while, we'll see the symptoms emerge. Every once in a while, the bitterness will be exposed, which is exactly what happened Monday afternoon with Mike Wilbon on PTI. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the main channels in the description below. Earlier this week, Bruce Pearl, he announced his retirement from coaching. Although he never won a national championship, I think most people would consider Bruce Pearl to be a legendary coach in college basketball. Took Milwaukee to the Sweet 16, turned around the programs at both Tennessee and Auburn, led Auburn to 2 appearances in the Final Four. Auburn was a flaming ass fire when Bruce Pearl arrived back in 2014. The last 3-4 years, Auburn's been one of the top college basketball programs in the country. Most of the time, when people retire after a long career, we look back on their positive contributions, like what I just did. We don't highlight the scandals. We don't highlight their mistakes. When someone is saying goodbye to their career, most of the time, you honor them by highlighting their accomplishments. We talk about the good things they did. Unfortunately, Mike Wilbon was in no mood to celebrate the career of Bruce Pearl on Monday. Instead, Mike decided to spread his bitterness. Watch for yourself.
The Auburn coach is stepping down to become an ambassador for the athletic department. In his place, the school gave a 5-year deal to his son, Stephen. Pearl is 65. He has had terrific teams at Milwaukee, Tennessee, and Auburn, which made the Final Four last season and in 2019.
Tony, he become a divisive person, it seems to me, intentionally, and I hope there was pressure to just get him out.
Divisive? Really? Divisive. You're collecting woke welfare from the worldwide leader in woke, and you have the audacity to call Bruce Pearl divisive? For starters, I highly doubt there was pressure from Auburn to get Bruce Pearl to retire, since, you know, they gave the head coaching job to his son. I don't think Auburn pushed daddy to the farm so they could give the job to his inexperienced baby boy. The reason Mike Wilbon is labeling Bruce Pearl divisive, it's because of Bruce Pearl's stance on Israel and Judea and Samaria. What, Casey, don't you mean Palestine? Yeah, that's what they want us to call it now. Do you know what Palestine means? The word Do you know what the word Palestine means in Hebrew? Invaders. Anyway, Mike Wilbon claims Bruce Pearl is divisive because he's pro-Israel. I don't know if Mike Wilbon knows this, but Bruce Pearl is Jewish. So I would imagine that he's not supportive of people who don't want him alive. It amazes me at how many people are uninformed but continue to ignorantly speak on this issue. Now, I am no expert, which is why I don't talk about it much, but I know enough about the conflict to know that a two-state solution does not work. How do I know it doesn't work? Because that's what they have been trying for the last 20 years. That's what they tried in 2006, and the first and the last election the Palestinians were given, they elected Hamas to be their leaders. This is one of many reasons that sports journalists should not be talking about politics, especially global politics they know nothing about. Mike Wilbon had no problem with Steve Kerr. He's got no problem with Greg Popovich when he's crying about Columbus Day. Mike Wilbon has no problem when LeBron James led the NBA down the path of mythical racism. Mike Wilbon had no problem with the NBA worshiping at the altar of their fallen hero George Floyd. But when Bruce Pearl has the audacity to defend his own people against a group who doesn't think they have the right to live, according to Mike Wilbon, that is no bueno. That's where Mike Wilbon draws the line. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys on the main channel.